US President Joe Biden says that Israel has not done enough to protect aid workers, that Israel mistakenly killed 7 people working for the aid charity World Central Kitchen in a Gaza airstrike. How badly are relations between the US and Israel deteriorating?
Relations between the U.S. government and the Israeli government are awful. They don't trust each other. They don't believe that the other side is playing fair. And there's great hostility. And Biden and Netanyahu make that palpable and very obvious. I think that what's going to happen here is the Israelis are going to continue a military campaign. The protests in Israel may be irritating to Netanyahu, but he will ignore them. And the real key to this is the attitude of the other Arab governments. The other Arab governments, of course, are attacking Israel's operations in Gaza, but they aren't doing anything about it. They're still trading with Israel. They're still allowing travel to Israel in many cases. And privately, Arab leaders will tell visitors, we don't like Hamas either. They're linked and are close to the Muslim Brotherhood, which we fear in the Middle East. And they ran Egypt for a while. We had to topple them. So the irony is, the big story is a lot of Arab governments do not wish Hamas well. They would like the Palestinians to get a better deal, but they don't trust Hamas.
Looking at the relationship between the US government and the Israeli government, we have seen it deteriorate quite rapidly. Is that the way it's going to continue? Will we see Biden pull back from his support with Israel as it seems to be hurting him politically in America?
Well, if anything, I think he could ramp up the confrontation because remember, Michigan is a critical swing state, and the Arab American community in Michigan is very upset about the U.S. policy in Gaza. So a lot of it depends on the facts on the ground. If there are more accidents like there were with these aid workers, Biden will be under great pressure to apply pressure to Israel. But I would remind everyone, the United States is still sending weapons, and that's not slowed down one bit.
Let's look at the protests in Israel. On Sunday, thousands gathered in Jerusalem to protest against the Netanyahu government. Many feeling frustrated that the government just hasn't done enough to bring hostages home. Let's take a look. You can see in that vision there just the thousands of people that have turned out. Looking at that vision, what do you make of what's unfolding in Israel?
Well, there is growing opposition to the Israeli policy, but the problem that the opposition has is explaining how they would have a better policy, because the problem is that Hamas is not going away. And Hamas has said if there's a ceasefire, we're not going to be bound by it once there's a prisoner exchange or once there's food aid allowed into the Gaza Strip. So what is the opposition's long-term solution? I haven't heard one. And as long as that's the case, and the fact that the Arab governments privately are not demanding that Hamas continue to run Gaza, the Israelis are going to feel emboldened that they have to solve this problem once and for all, smash Gaza, find some governing authority that can provide some kind of stability to the Palestinians. Until then, I don't see the Israelis backing down. That would probably topple Netanyahu's government.
Okay, look, finally, before I let you go, John Fund, a different topic, the controversy around J.K. Rowling. Scottish authorities have confirmed that no action will be taken against the Harry Potter author for her gender-critical opinions online. J.K. Rowling challenged the new hate crime laws, daring police to arrest her for misgendering some trans people. What do you make of all of this? Are you relieved that J.K. Rowling won't be getting arrested?
I think she's a brave lady. She basically was standing as a proxy for all of the people who would have been prosecuted over this hate crimes law. Now I think that's going to be impossible. You can't let someone as rich and famous as J.K. Rowling off the hook, even though she basically clearly violated the hate speech law. So in that case, no one can be prosecuted. And if they are, I suspect she'll start a legal defense fund to get them off the hook. This just goes to show that when you move to restrict free speech, in order to give in to the arguments of some extreme adolescent political actors, you're going to get a problem. And the problem is The liberal democracy functions best when people are able to speak out. And that's what the Scottish government was doing. The irony is the Scottish gave us the Scottish Enlightenment, which was all about tolerance and free press. And what have they left us? With a Big Brother style authoritarian regime, which is trying to squelch speech.
Is it a bit embarrassing for Scotland announcing these new laws and then J.K. Rowling essentially breaks them by misgendering and she won't be prosecuted?
The Scottish government is very difficult to embarrass. We've seen that in scandal after scandal. The Scottish National Party seems to have no shame. On the other hand, I think the Scottish voters are waking up to the fact that they're badly governed. Their economy is not doing well. Their civil liberties are under assault. And there's a woke element in the country, which is basically destroying the traditional values of many Scottish communities.
Political journalist John Fund, thank you so much for your time and speaking to us here on Power Hour.
Thank you.